Hello students, welcome to poem number 9, The Tale of Custard the Dragon. Now, this is a poem written by Ogden Nash. This poem is written in the style of a ballad, a song or a poem that tells a story. You must be familiar with ballads that narrate tales of courage or heroism. This poem is a humorous ballad close to a parody. That means like it's poking fun at somebody. So we will read it aloud paying attention to the rhythm. Now, before we go to the poem, let us learn something more about the author, the poet Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash has written a poem about a little girl, Belinda, who owns many pets, namely a black kitten named Ink, a grey mouse named Blink, a yellow dog named Mustard, and a coward dragon named Custard. So all of them are rhyming. The poet has described every character to be brave except the dragon, who is a coward. But the whole situation changes when the pirate attacked Belinda's house. No one else had the guts to face him. It was the dragon that killed the pirate. All the characters are happy because they are saved by the dragon, but quickly change their thoughts and describe themselves to be more powerful had the situation not been so confusing for all of them. So now that we've heard the gist of the poem, let us learn something more about Ogden Nash. Ogden Nash was an American poet, and he was famous for his light verse, that means humorous verse. He was known as the producer of humorous poetry, and he received the Sarah Josepha Hale Award in 1964. Now let us go to the poem. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a really, truly little pet dragon. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace chimney for a nose, and really, truly, daggers on his toes. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a lion in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Belinda tickled him, she tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the really, truly cowardly dragon. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled and they all looked around. Meow, cried Ink, and ooh, said Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Belinda paled and she cried, help, help, but Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down the bottom of the household, and little mouse blinked strategically mouse hold. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clink and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and Blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. But presently up spoke the little dog Mustard. I'd have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We'd have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. Belinda still lives in a little white house with a little black kitten and her little grey mouse and her little yellow dog and a little red wagon and her really truly little pet dragon. Belinda is as brave as a barrel full of beans, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. So now let's go back to the first verse and listen to the explanation. Belinda lived in a little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and a truly little pet dragon. The poet says that once there was a little girl named Belinda. She lived in a little white house. She lived with some creatures who were her pets. They were a black kitten, a grey mouse, a yellow dog, and a little wagon and a creature that the poet says was really and truly a dragon. Now let's look at the second verse. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink, and the little yellow dog was as sharp as mustard, but the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. Now mustard is a yellow colored flower and coward is a weakling, somebody who is very weak. So the poet explains the names of all the animals that are tamed by Belinda. He says that the name of the black kitten is Ink, the name of the grey mouse is Blink, the little yellow dog had yellow color, so she calls him Mustard, and the dragon that was a coward means he was a weakling, so she called him Custard. Then let's go to stanza 3. Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth and spikes on top of him and scales underneath, mouth like a fireplace chimney for a nose, and really truly daggers on his toes. Now the meaning of spikes is thin pointed surface, and scales means thin bony plates protecting the skin of fish and reptiles. Underneath is situated directly below. And fireplace means an outdoor structure of brick, stone or metal for an open fire. Then dagger is a sharp knife. So the poet describes the dragon that it had big sharp teeth and spikes on top. This means that the skin was pointed on the top. On the lower part it had scales which were bony plates in order to protect the skin. His mouth had been compared to a fireplace because it is assumed that dragons can emit fire from the mouth. Even his nose is compared to a chimney which is normally passes out smoke, right? So his feet are like a sharp knife, that is a dagger. Let's go on to stanza 4. Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chased lions down the stairs. Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now the meaning of the word barrel means drum. Then the meaning of chased is hunt or followed, and rage is extreme anger. So here the poet explains the inner strength or the bravery of various characters in the poem. He says that Belinda was as brave as a group of bears, and Ink and Blink was so brave that they could hunt lions. So here he has shown that the bravery of the kitten and the little mouse that could hunt even a lion. The dog was very brave, just like an angry tiger. But to contrast all of them was Custard, the dragon. He was not at all brave. He was so afraid of everything that he always demanded a safe cage. Then let's go to the next verse. Belinda's bravery. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink and Mustard, They rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon at the realio trulio cowardly dragon. Now, tickled means to stroke. Here it means to tease. Like you poke somebody in the ribs, no? And you try to get them to laugh. Then unmerciful means very cruel without having any mercy. And Percival is a knight, is like a soldier in King Arthur's court. King Arthur's stories are very famous in England. So Belinda used to stroke the dragon in a very cruel way. Ink, Blink and Mustard made fun of him by comparing him to a knight named Percival, who was thought to be brave but ran away due to lack of courage. They used to tease the dragon while sitting in the little red wagon. Now let us proceed to stanza 6. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said "Week," which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age, when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now giggle means to laugh, and "week," here it is the sound made by the mouse. So the poet Ogden Nash says that Belinda used to laugh so loudly that her voice echoed throughout the house. Blink the mouse used to laugh and make a sound of "week." On the other hand, Ink and Mustard would tease him by asking the dragon his age whenever he demanded a nice safe cage. Now let's go on to stanza 7. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. "Meow," cried Ink, and "ooh," cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. Nasty means bad or unpleasant, and growled means to bark, like angrily, make an angry sound. A pirate is a person who robs ships in the high seas, and window is used a short form for window. So while all of them were making fun of the dragon, they heard a sound of someone entering the house. When they looked towards the window, they saw a pirate climbing up the wall. The dog barked at him and the kitten mewed at him. Belinda cried "ooh," because all of them were scared of the pirate who robs ships. Now let us go on to the stanza 8. Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Pistol is a handgun, and cutlass is a short sword with a curved blade. The poet describes the appearance of the pirate. He says that the pirate was holding handguns in both his hands and had a little sword in his mouth. He was holding it with his teeth. He had a black beard and his one leg was cut, and what was there was made of wood. This means that though the pirate was a disabled person, he still was very frightening to all the other characters in the house, and moreover he intended to harm them. Now let us go to stanza 9. Belinda paled and she cried, "Help, help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and little mouse Blink strategically mouseholed. Now here the word paled means to turn yellow due to fear. Yelp is a short, sharp cry, and trickled means here to run. Strategically means to plan very carefully. And mousehold is, here is the hole where the mouse lives. So he went into the hole. When all of them saw the pirate, they got immensely frightened. Belinda was so frightened that she turned yellow due to fear and started crying for help, help, help. Mustard the dog started crying for help too. The kitten Ink ran towards the bottom of the house as if he'd already planned for it, and the mouse Ink ran into his little mouse hole in order to save himself. Now, stanza 10. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. Now the meaning of the word snorting, make a sudden explosive sound, through one's nose. And clashed means to fight. Clashed is fought. Dungeon is underground prison. And clatter clank is the sound of a hard object falling on each other. Jangling squirm is sound of a hard object falling on each other. And robin is the name of a bird. So when all the other characters that were earlier defined as very brave, when they got frightened, then the dragon did the most unexpected, strange thing. He jumped onto the pirate and made such a strong sound with his nose as if the engine was producing a sound. Not only this, he hit his tail on the ground with such great force that it produced a heavy sound of metal being rubbed against each other. In the underground prisons, he attacked the pirate just like a robin attacks the worms. So, let's go on to the next verse, that is stanza 11. The pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon and gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. He fired 2 bullets, but they didn't hit, and Custard gobbled him every bit. Gaped is stared with mouth wide open, and gulped is swallowed. Grog is a drink. Flagon is a container made of silver in which drink is stored, and gobbled is swallowed in a hurried manner, in a hurried fashion. The pirate got so shocked by the dragon's reaction that he opened his mouth wide with shock, and to gather some strength, he drank some alcohol from a container in his pocket. After gathering some courage, he fired 2 bullets on the dragon, but missed it. Custard the dragon ate every little bit of this fierce-looking pirate. So now we go on to the next verse. Stanza 12. Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him, no one mourned for his pirate victim. Ink and blink in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. Now, the meaning of the word embraced is to give a hug, and mourned is to feel sorrow or pain for the death of someone. Victim is someone who suffers, sufferer, and glee is to be delighted, and gyrate is danced or gyrate. When the pirate was dead, Belinda hugged the dragon and Mustard licked him. No one was sad that the pirate was dead, as they were all extremely happy. Both Ink and Blink were running around the dragon in happiness. So, here the poet says that all the characters were happy and they were expressing their gratitude towards the dragon as he had saved them. Now, stanza 13. But presently, up spoke little dog Mustard. I'd have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. And up spoke Ink and up spoke Blink. We'd have been 3 times as brave, we think. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. Now the meaning of the word flustered is to be upset or confused. So after they thanked and showed their love towards the dragon, they changed their mind. They were reminded of how they used to make fun of this cowardly dragon, and now here they were all praising him. So at once the dog said that it wasn't just because of some confusion that he wasn't able to do anything. Otherwise he would have been twice as brave as Custard. Both Ink and Blink also said they would have been 3 times braver than Custard. To this the dragon said that he fully agreed to this, that all of them were more powerful and braver than him. Now we go to stanza 14. Belinda still lives in her little white house with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse and a little yellow dog and a little red wagon and her really truly little pet dragon. Belinda's as brave as a barrel full of bears, and Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. Mustard is as brave as a tiger in a rage, but Custard keeps crying for a nice safe cage. At last, poet uses the same lines again to show that after this terrific episode in which the dragon was the hero, while all the other characters were undermined, all those who undermined or made fun of him by saying that they were more powerful than him, could have handled the situation in a much better way. The poet says that life started again in the same manner. Belinda still lives in that little white house with ink, blink, mustard, and custard, and all of them are very brave indeed, whereas the dragon is still a coward who always wants to stay safe in his cage. So now let us have a look at the figures of speech in this poem. Well, starting with the first line, Belinda lived in a little white house. Now here it is alliteration. The sound of the consonant lived and little is repeated. Then with a little black kitten and a little grey mouse. Now the word little is repeated for the poetic effect, so it is repetition. And a little yellow dog and a little red wagon. The words little and are repeated for poetic effect. And a realio, trulio, little pet dragon. Now here there is internal rhyme in realio and trulio. They are used for poetic effect. Now oxymoron. Now the opposite words pet and dragon are used to convey a new meaning, that though Custard is a dragon, he is a pet. So it's an oxymoron. You have two opposite words put together. Now the name of the little black kitten was Ink, and the little grey mouse, she called him Blink. Now this is alliteration because the sound of the consonant N is repeated in the words now and name. There is also internal rhyme because ink and blink, and repetition, the words little are repeated for poetic effect. And the little yellow dog was as sharp as mustard. Now this is we have the word as. The dog was as sharp as mustard, so it is a simile. There is a direct comparison between the dog and mustard. But the dragon was a coward and she called him Custard. So here we have internal rhyme, that is coward and custard are used for poetic effect. It's also personification. The dragon is given the human quality of being a coward. Coward is darpok. Then alliteration, the sound of the consonant C is repeated in the words coward, called and custard. Now Custard the dragon had big sharp teeth. Now here teeth is synecdoche. Why? Because it stands for the dragon. And spikes on top of him and scales underneath. The opposite words top and underneath are used in the same sentence. And part, spikes and scales stand for the dragon. So it's part for the whole, which is synecdoche. Then mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose. So like here you have the dragon's mouth is compared to a fireplace. Compared to a fireplace. There's a direct comparison between the fireplace and the mouth of the dragon. And there's an indirect comparison between the dragon's nose and a chimney for a nose. So here this is a metaphor. And the part mouth and nose stand for the dragon. So it is also a synecdoche. And realio, trulio, daggers on his toes. Now this is internal rhyme. The rhyming words are realio, trulio. And synecdoche, toes stands for the dragon. Metaphor is an indirect comparison between Custard's toes and a dagger. Then Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears. There's a direct comparison between Belinda and the bears. The point of comparison is to be brave. The sound, it is also alliteration because the sound of the consonant B is repeated in the words Belinda, brave and barrel and bears. It's also a hyperbole. There's an overstatement that Belinda is as brave as many bears put together. And Ink and Blink chase lions down the stairs. So this is a hyperbole. A cat and a dog cannot chase a lion. So it's an overstatement. And a cat and a mouse. Then internal rhyme. The rhyming words ink and blink are used in the same sentence. Then Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. Now, as whenever you see the words as, it must ring a bell. You must remember that as and like are used in figure of speech, which is a simile. So there's a direct comparison between mustard and a tiger, and the point of comparison is being brave. Hyperbole, there's an overstatement that Mustard was as brave as a tiger in a rage. But Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. This is an alliteration. The sound of the consonant C is repeated in Custard, cried, and cage. An oxymoron. The opposite words, safe and cage, are used together to convey a new meaning, that Custard feels very safe inside a cage. Belinda tickled him and she tickled him unmerciful. It's repetition. The words tickled him are repeated. Tickled him, tickled him. Ink, Blink and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. Now this is the dragon Custard is compared with Percival. So the point of comparison is being brave. That is a metaphor. And personification, because the human animals are given the human quality of being rude. It's also irony. The meaning of Percival for Custard is exactly opposite. Coward. Then they all sat laughing in their little red wagon at the realio trulio cowardly dragon. Now the first figure of speech is alliteration. The sound of the consonant L is repeated in laughing and little. And onomatopoeia is the word laughing suggests sound. Belinda giggled till she shook the house. Again we have a repetition of onomatopoeia. The word giggle suggests sound. And hyperbole. There is an overstatement that Belinda's giggling shook the house. Alliteration. The sound of the consonant sh is repeated in she and shook. And Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. This is again onomatopoeia. The sound word weak and giggling suggests sound. Then Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age when Custard cried for a nice safe cage. Now we have internal rhyming at the words ink and blink, age and cage. And oxymoron, the opposite words safe and cage, are used to convey a new meaning, and that Custard felt safe in a cage. Suddenly they heard a nasty sound. So it is repetition. Suddenly. It's repeated for poetic effect. And Mustard growled and they all looked around. Onomatopoeia because the word growled suggests sound. Then meow cried Ink and coo cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. That is onomatopoeia again, it suggests sound. Then pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right. So there's a repetition of the word pistol, and also left and right. So there is it is also antithesis. The opposite words are used. And the part hand stands for the pirate. So again it is synecdoche, part for a whole. And he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. Now here the part teeth stands for the pirate. And then it is also an inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. His beard was black, one leg was wood. That is synecdoche. The part beard and leg stand for the pirate. And metonymy, the word wood represents a false leg. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. This is litotes or litotes. The negation is used to confirm, to convey an affirmative meaning. Belinda paled and she cried, help, help. Now here we have the word help repeated. So it is repetition, and the word suggests, cried suggests sound. Then it's also an exclamation. So wherever you have in the poem exclamation, it is exclamation. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household. Unnecessary use of words like down and bottom show tautology, which suggests the same meaning. And the little mouse blinks strategically mousehold. It is metonymy because the words mousehold represents hiding in a cave-like place. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine. There's a direct comparison between Custard and an engine. The point of comparison being to snort loudly. And onomatopoeia is the word snorting suggests sound. Clashed his tail like dragons in a dungeon. There's a direct comparison between Custard and irons, and the point of comparison is to clash. Then synecdoche is the part tail stands for Custard the dragon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm. The word clatter and clank suggest sound. He went at the pirates like a robin at a worm. There's a direct comparison between custard and a robin, and the point of comparison is to chase. Then it's also alliteration. The consonant W is repeated in went and worm. Then the pirate gaped at Belinda's dragon. So this is the sound of the consonant. G is repeated, that is gulped some grog from his pocket flagon. G and G are repeated. It's also metonymy because it represents an alcoholic drink and flagon means a bottle. He fired 2 bullets but they didn't hit. Litotes or litotes. Negation is used to convey a positive meaning that the bullets misfired. And Custard gobbled him every bit. This is euphemism. The death of a pirate is spoken in a pleasant manner by saying he gobbled, and it's also a hyperbole. How can a dragon eat a pirate, a human being? So Belinda embraced him, Mustard licked him. So there's repetition. The words him is repeated for poetic effect. No one mourned for his pirate victim. Litotes, there's a negation to convey a positive meaning that everyone refrained from mourning about the pirate. Ink and blink, in glee did gyrate around the dragon that ate the pirate. Internal rhyme, the rhyming words like ink and blink and gyrate and pirate are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. Then the next line. But presently up spoke little dog Mustard. There is an inversion in the construction of the sentence for poetic effect. I'd have been twice as brave if I hadn't been flustered. Negation is used to convey a positive meaning. And we up spoke ink and up spoke blink. Now, the next is internal rhyme. Ink and blink are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. We'd have been 3 times as brave we think. Now in this line, the word we is repeated for poetic effect. And Custard said, I quite agree that everybody is braver than me. So here we have irony. The meaning is exactly opposite, and Custard was not a coward after all. He was the bravest of them all. So now let us look at the question answers of the poem. Well, the first question is, who are the characters in this poem? List them with their pet names. So the characters are Belinda, her pets, which include a little black kitten called Ink because he is black. There's a grey mouse who is very tiny, so he's called Blink. She has a dog who is yellow in color, so he's called Mustard. And she has a full-grown pet dragon who is cowardly, so she called him Custard. Then the next one. Why did Custard cry for a nice safe cage? Why is the dragon called Cowardly Dragon? Well, Belinda's pet dragon was large and looked quite fearful, but in fact was a coward. Belinda and all her other pets, though small, were supposed to be very strong and brave. The cat and mouse could chase lions down the stairs. The dog was as brave as a tiger, and Belinda was as brave as a barrel full of bears. However, Custard, the dragon, preferred to remain in a cage, and he felt very safe there, so he was called a cowardly dragon. The third one, Belinda she tickled him unmerciful. Why? Custard the dragon was big and strong, but he was always afraid of everything and preferred to remain in a cage where he felt safe. So Belinda found this very funny. Her other pets were small, but they were fearless. So she thought it very amusing when Custard always looked out for the cage, and so she tickled him unmercifully in order to poke fun of him. Then the poet has employed many poetic devices. For example, clashed his tail like iron in a dungeon. The poetic device is a simile. Can you, with your partner, list some more poetic devices used in the poem? Well, we have just discussed all the poetic devices used in the poem. Now read stanza 3 again to know how the poet describes the appearance of the dragon. Well, Belinda's dragon was a full grown-up dragon. He had sharp teeth, spikes on the top, scales underneath him. His mouth was like a fireplace and his nose like a chimney. He also had a dagger like toes. He could have have eased himself or frightened anyone, but he was such a coward who preferred to be in a cage so that he remained safe. Now, what is the rhyme scheme of the poem? It is A, A, B, B. Writers use words to give us a word picture of or an image without actually saying what they mean. Can you trace some images? The mouth like a fireplace, chimney for a nose, brave as a tiger in a cage, brave as a barrel full of bears, went to the pirate like a robin at a worm. Then the next one, do you find the tale of Custer the dragon to be serious or light-hearted? Give reasons. Well, this poem is both light-hearted and serious. Light-hearted because it has a lot of humor. Belinda's pets are named by their color. The black kitten is Ink, the grey tiny mouse is Blink, the yellow dog is Mustard, and he had a huge fearful dragon, that is Custard, because he is a coward. Their bravery is also described in a funny manner. Belinda's as brave as a barrel full of bears. Ink and Blink chase lions, and Mustard is as brave as a tiger. It's also humorous to know that all these brave ones hide away at the arrival of a pirate and leave Belinda alone. Only the dragon, who's supposed to be cowardly, fights and finishes the pirates and saves all of them single-handedly without any help. So, on a very serious note, the poem teaches us that people know their true potential when they come across challenges in life. There are some who are big talkers and not much doers. Even at the end of the poem, the dragon is happy being in its cage and believes that the others are braver than him. So, children, I hope you have understood the story of Custer the dragon well. Make sure you write the question answers. Thank you and have a nice day.